Starbreeze has announced that it is holding off on bringing Overkill's The Walking Dead to consoles, at least for now. Both the PlayStation 4 and Xbox versions of the games were due to launch on February 6, but have now been delayed indefinitely, with more details to be released at a later date. For Starbreeze, the decision to delay the console launch of Overkill's The Walking Dead comes during a rough patch in the company's history. Prior to its release, company leadership had previously touted the game as its biggest release since Payday 2, a game that, despite releasing 5 years ago, is still a top earner for Starbreeze. The studio had been banking on the success of Overkill's The Walking Dead to bring it back into the profitable range, but sales of the PC version fell short of expectations. Following the game's release, Starbreeze announced that it had initiated a program to reduce costs and sharpen focus on core business, including internal and external development, in order to keep what CFO Sebastian Oskak described as the company's important games alive and headed toward release. The Epic Games Stories Director of Publishing Strategy, Sergey Galyankin, known as Steam Spy, has clarified a few points regarding how Battlefront will target influencers and consumers. This comes after the Rosetta also provided a translated summary of an episode of How Games Are Made, a Russian-language podcast co-hosted by Galyankin, where it apparently discussed what developers and users can expect from Epic this year in terms of features. It's worth noting that the Rosetta thread is a summarized, roughly translated account of the podcast, and so the points given should be taken with a grain of salt. Epic currently has a system that allows developers to provide influencers with game codes that come with referral links to the game, offering the influencers a cut of a game's sale when the link is used. As of right now, Epic covers the default 5% cut. Although developers can decrease or increase that cut, the program is reportedly not intended to be permanent, leading to speculation that devs will be asked to cover more costs in the future, with indies paying up to 20% in order to have their games marketed by influencers. Epic also takes a 12% cut of revenue from games sold on the storefront, with the Support a Creator program being optional. As of right now, the pricing system is also optional, so devs are able to decide if they want to give influencers anything from 0 to 100% of the revenue for every game they help sell. Galyankin took to Twitter to clarify. Right now, a significant part of marketing budgets of big games is allocated to paid influencers. Galyankin said on Twitter, "Those are one-off deals. I think having a way for influencers to be able to stream any game and make money without relying solely on big publishers would be awesome." Support a Creator program, a fortnight, allows some creators to make enough money to go full-time. My hope is by extending it to Epic Games Store titles and getting more games on board, we will reach the point where it's possible for more creators. Our goal is to empower smaller devs to have the same access to creators that only big publishers right now can afford. It's not in any way mandatory. We are just leveling the playing field, giving devs the tools. On the other hand, it also levels the playing field for mid-sized and small creators. We found that relying on small and mid-sized creators is actually better when running promotional campaigns. But there are so many of them, most devs cannot manage that. We will give them the tools. Whether you are just starting out, looking for something new, or just seeing what's out there, the Gamasutra job board is the place where game developers move ahead in their careers. Gamasutra's job board is the most diverse, most active, and most established board of its kind in the video game industry, serving companies of all sizes, from indie to AAA. Here are just some of the many positions being advertised right now. If you are a recruiter looking for talent, you can also post jobs here. Location: Broadway, New South Wales, Australia. Wargaming Sydney is seeking a passionate lead game designer to join our professional team and deliver fresh experiences for players. Our projects offer development challenges across a wide spectrum, presenting unique opportunities for developers from all backgrounds. Being a lead game designer at Wargaming Sydney means more than designing games. We have to understand the experience we want to create for players, and then design the game features or changes required to bring this experience into reality. From prototyping new concepts to balancing gameplay, designing systems, or crafting groundbreaking mechanics, your work will have the potential to inspire gamers and designers for years to come. Comprehensive design sensibilities, problem solving, agile execution, and considered communication are our tools of the trade as we strive to bring new experiences to our audience. Location: Los Angeles, California. As a Magnapus experience engineer, you will work on cutting-edge experiences which connect people to each other on the world around us in order to feel touched, inspired, educated, and entertained. We are looking for people who love to apply new technology to solve impossible problems, building bridges between the real world and the digital world. The position is full-time and is using the latest technology from Oculus Quest to Magic Leap to custom-modified Vive Pro headsets, running on custom-built PCs, and anywhere in between. Location: Raleigh, North Carolina. Imagi Studios is looking for a talented individual to fill multiple open game artist positions. Environment, character, 3D generalist.
DCONCEPT.
This position will be responsible for developing visual assets for the Temple Run brand. Depending on your specialization, you will sell conceptualize and create environments, characters, concepts, animations, and RVFX for Imagi Studios mobile games. The ideal candidate will have a strong portfolio and experience in the mobile game space. Location: London, Ontario, Canada. Digital Extremes is looking for an environment artist with at least 1 year of industry experience to utilize traditional art training and knowledge of 3D art, design and computer graphics software to build efficient, high-quality 3D models using next-generation techniques, such as normal mapping and advanced shaders. Translate 2D concepts into 3D reality including modeling, texturing, of mapping, etc., though the supervision of the art director and lead artist, and work closely with the art director and lead artist to understand the creative direction as well as ensure the successful execution of the game's visual design as a part of its Canada-based team. Location: Redwood City, California. The gameplay camera designer, working under the lead cinematic designer and on the game director, will be responsible for designing, implementing, and fine-tune the game design cameras and related gameplaying levels and cinematics to ensure a smooth and seamless player experience. Through a rich and epic narrative experience, the successful camera designer will be able to collaborate with artists and designers to create tools and camera solutions to create a dynamic and living world. Like so much in game dev, the decision to use procedural generation in your game is a double-edged sword. While it provides a theoretically unlimited amount of content, user graphics have advantages of your game being bespoke and handcrafted. The goal, then, is to craft tools that can turn out procedural content in near infinite quantities and configurations while making that content feel as close to homemade as possible. To explore some different approaches to that problem, Gamasutra reached out to a number of devs with experience working with procedural tools and asked about how they thought about different methods of content generation, and how they avoid making procedural content that feels banal and recycled. First and most obvious is the question of why choose procedural content in the first place.